Okay, polygon and quadrilateral study guide. Problem number one. The side statement is true or false. A, the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular. That is indeed true. Remember that a kite is essentially two isosceles triangles plopped on top of each other. No parallel sides or anything like that, but we do know there are a bunch of special properties. That diagonal right there, connecting the two vertex angles, that is the angle bisector of both those angles. That's a good thing to know. And then that second diagonal right there does indeed create perpendicular lines. So that is true. B, the diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other. Remember what a rhombus is? A rhombus is a square that got hit by a bus. So all the sides of a rhombus are congruent, and the diagonals do indeed bisect each other on a rhombus. But wait, that's not true. Or rather, we should say it's not always true. Oh wait, what are we saying? What does the question say? Oh my goodness gracious, guess what time it is? It's late. Do I say that in every single video? Because it is always late. But the diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other. I was thinking it was saying the diagonals were perpendicular, but yeah, they do bisect each other. So that's congruent to that, and that's congruent to that. But that is a property of parallelograms in general. Diagonals of all parallelograms will bisect each other. So B is true because a rhombus is a parallelogram. And then C, the diagonals of a parallelogram do not bisect each other, but that's false because they do bisect each other. D, diagonals of a rectangle are perpendicular. Absolutely not true. Try yourself a little diagram. Draw a long skinny rectangle like this and look at that. Do those look perpendicular? No, they don't. That is false. Could the diagonals of a rectangle be perpendicular? Yes, they could if the rectangle happened to be a square. And then in that instance, you would get perpendicular diagonals. But it's not always true, so we're going to say false. E, a midsegment of a triangle is equal to 1/4 of the third side of the triangle. No, that is not true. We have a triangle there. When you construct that mid segment like that, we know that that is actually going to be half of that other base right there. So that is false. It should be half. The base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Yep, just like an isosceles triangle. Picture an isosceles triangle and then cut off its head, and we get a trapezoid if we cut it so it's parallel like that and parallel right there. And then both pairs of base angles are indeed congruent on a trapezoid. So F is true. And then G says the diagonals of a rectangle are perpendicular, which is what D also says, so that's a repeat. Whoops, still false. And finally, H, the diagonals of a rectangle bisect the angles. Is that true? No. Again, look at this little skinny rectangle we drew. Does it look like that angle is the same as that angle? Nah, it doesn't. They're not. That is not true. False. Boom. So, true, true, false, 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 true, false, false, done.